Okay, let's do this. So the first time since forever, I managed to put up the background. And the background actually isn't background. I moved the stuff that I have around, and I'm trying to build my own workbench, workshop, whatever, uh, to basically do stuff that I want to do and to be basically able to do some electronics work and to do some programming and so. And I wanted to talk about something closely related to this thing because what I got today is I got a bunch of things like this. So basically these, but more on that after the intro. Okay, so let's start. This is a Heltec V4 LoRaWAN network enabled Internet of Things controller. That is basically a small microcontroller that has some memory, it has a antenna, it has a LoRaWAN module, and it's capable of doing communication at a pretty low speed, but at pretty large distances. And the other thing that I want to show is something like this. This is a Raspberry Pi with a Hello chip, Hello being 802.11ah. So basically a slower speed than what you would expect for a regular Wi-Fi network, but working at something like 1.5 kilometers or something like a mile or up to a mile, because it's a little bit more powerful than it should be when you compare it to regular chips. But on the other hand, it is lower frequency, 860 something megahertz, and it's capable of actually communicating at longer distances. Underneath it, this is the Raspberry Pi that has a small hard drive underneath it. And the reason I'm showing you those two things is because I want to talk about something that I have been working on for the last couple of years probably, but when it comes to actual deployment and actual development, for the last couple of months. And this is, I'm experimenting with emergency communication, or EMCOM as they are called in the States. They have different names across different countries. And I'm trying to right now understand how different solutions for communications work. So I'm right now not into the emergency communications themselves. I'm right now trying to find out how the different things that I can do with the MCOM on different communication paths are capable of. And what I'm trying to do right now, exactly now, is I'm experimenting with LoRa. LoRa is, as I said, slow. It requires, let's say, a minuscule amount of energy to communicate. You can get it in different versions. What I showed you before is the more capable Heltec V4. So this is basically something that can do. It can be a node, so it can participate in the network. This is a much smaller part. This is called a cube cell by the same manufacturer, but the idea of the cube cell itself is to be more of a client than anything else, because it has an attached half AA battery holder, so you can actually put this thing and have something measured. I don't know, put it in the car, measure temperature, put it somewhere, get any sensor to work with you. And what I'm trying to assess is how different things are working when it comes to communication, the capabilities, how they actually work in the urban environment, what can I expect, how, okay, I'm not expecting speed, but what can I expect when it comes to noise, what can I expect when it comes to failures, what can I expect when it comes to things not working or not being able to communicate. Now, the idea why I'm doing this is I want to get up to speed with whatever is right now normal when it comes to communication. And the reason why I'm dealing with communication right now is I simply want to see how far have we gone from the bygone era of just using regular radio. Behind me, there are some handheld transceivers. Most of them, or if not all, are Chinese made. These are the cheap ones. So from 20-ish euros to maybe, okay, some of them are 200 euros. But mostly all of them are cheap communication devices. And the idea why I got them was to just try to experiment with them and talk to people here locally and so on. But the thing that has been happening in the last, give or take 5 years, is that a lot of small devices like the LoRa devices that I showed you, like the Hello devices that I showed you, have become a thing that is interesting to a lot of people. And also what has been happening is that the market or the community that is trying to build out of band or not regular communication methods. So basically what they're usually doing is they're dealing with either digital communication that is trying to push mostly messages. So messages, then emails, then possibly something like images. Video is not usually being done because video is much more complicated, and some voice. Usually what is being used is some sort of voice over IP. So they're trying to establish networks that are capable of transmitting low bandwidth things. And the idea behind this thing is to be able to actually communicate whenever the internet is not up. Because the common thing with all the devices that I showed you is that there can be they're completely capable of running simply on batteries for days. The large one, so the one that I'm right now putting together, so this is a 3D printed case. It has this small LoRa device, and it has space for two 18650 batteries, and this should be giving it autonomy of something like 4 to 5 days if everything is correct. Of course, this means that there is not going to be a lot of communication, but if you just connect this thing to a solar cell, you can get it topped up or in a regular environment that has, let's say, average amount of sun available, and you have yourself a node that can communicate to other nodes. So when I mention nodes, what do I mean? Most of the things that are right now available in the community are different ways of creating on-demand or completely uncentralized mesh networks. Primarily, they are dealing with LoRa, because LoRa is low speed, but LoRa is also pretty capable of spanning large distances, much better than Wi-Fi is, or much better than anything other than using high-powered communication is. And if you put up devices like this, it's going to cost you maybe 50 euros per cell. You can put a few of these over the city, and then you can get decent communication, albeit being low speed, across the city. And there are a couple of solutions for this. You can Google them. I'm going to try to give the details in the description, but the main ones that I'm working with right now are either Meshtastic or Meshcore. They are similar and different in different ways, and it seems that for places where there is no mesh-capable network, Meshtastic is probably the most useful one. But if you have heavily saturated networks that have a lot of Meshtastic nodes, Meshcore is much better, because Meshcore is trying to solve the problem of occupying the airwaves. So it's trying to solve the problem of actually creating an environment where you can actually talk to other people without waiting too much for the radio communication to be available. And this actually makes sense because the radio that they're using is small and the bandwidth available is small. Now, the other solution that I'm working with and trying to experiment with is called something called Reticulum. Reticulum is not a mesh network. A reticulum is a protocol that enables you to talk to different things. And by different things, I mean you're completely capable of connecting a PC to a Mac, to an iOS, to a tablet, to an Android device, using an application that knows how to talk to Meshtastic. And what Meshtastic offers you is the ability to actually talk through whatever device, communication device is available. So for example, if I have this Raspberry Pi here, I can connect to another Raspberry Pi using Hello, which is going to work. I can also connect using Wi-Fi. I can also connect using the regular network, so the regular Ethernet. And if the two nodes, so two different devices running reticulum network, are capable of seeing each other through any network, what is going to happen? They're going to be able to communicate to each other. So if there is a possible path from one device to another device, even through intermediary devices, this is going to happen. So the reticulum is interesting, and the ability to be auto-routing, so using any available network and to be able to route, is also interesting. The only problem that I have right now is that whatever I do, I want to be able to do in accordance to the law. And the problems exist because almost all of the devices and almost all of the networks that I talked about are in some way encrypted. And since I'm a ham radio operator, I'm unable to use encrypted protocols simply because there is a law against it. So all the things that I need to use need to be clear text or clear message or clear voice. And there is a case to be said on this because I'm allowed to use DMR, and DMR itself is encrypted. By encrypted, I mean it is being protected because there is a chip that is proprietary, that has a proprietary protocol. So if you use this chip, you actually get encrypted network, and you are disallowed of decrypting it simply because the network itself works based on encryption. But this is a thing for another day. Now, the reason I'm mentioning all of these things is because I want to have an idea or I want to be able to push for more communication between people, because what I'm thinking is that we have become way over reliable on technology, and we are unable to communicate anymore. I know it may sound strange, but you are right now committed to using either internet through your ISP or using data through your other ISP or cellular provider. And if those two things break, you're basically completely blind. And the problem is that here in Croatia, at least, 6 years ago, we actually experienced a quite large earthquake. And it has shown what can happen if communications lines go down. The other problem was that being a ham radio operator, we have seen the possibilities when something happens, like an earthquake, like a flood, whatever. But the earthquake, it was the most important one, because what it generates is the inability of the network to actually route all the traffic. So people cannot talk to each other. And then emergency services come in. They use their own networks. And by any means, I don't think that ham radio operators should be operating the services for the emergency services, because they have their own. But what ham radio operators then can do is they can establish a separate network that is community based. I can talk to my neighbors. Another colleague of mine a few blocks away can talk to his neighbors. We can get messages across. We can get people who are worried, people who are for some reason uneasy, and they are trying to communicate with somebody. We can get them connected. We can connect to other cities. We can even use something like shortwave to communicate if the need be across continent. So this is the reason why I'm interested. And the most important part of this is that we have seen a lot of technologies being developed in the last couple of years, and those technologies actually promise us to do a lot new different things. So, if you have any ideas on this and any opinions on this, please click down and comment. And until the next time, I'll see you. And then I'll probably get one of these videos out and try to explain what is behind me and what is the purpose of all these different things. But until then, thank you.